there's another question that I'm sure a lot of you would be asking right now. Is this time different? We need to talk about that because every single one of those spikes had a story attached to it at the time. So what's the story behind this spike? And if it's something big, something structural, then fair enough. Then it's going to keep going. Maybe this one is the one that runs and doesn't come back. So let's actually look at it. What caused this move? So gold didn't move because of China. It didn't move because of a reset. Nothing structural really happened this week at all. Two things happened on 2 different days. First was Wednesday. Gold rallied 4% because of Iran. Iranian officials signaled that they were close to a deal with Oman to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Now, if you're not a massive nerd that stares at shipping maps all day, the Strait of Hormuz is a narrow bit of water at the mouth of the Gulf, and an enormous share of the world's oil gets shipped through it. Shut it, and oil prices go mad. Reopen it, and oil prices come down. So follow that through. Oil falls, cheaper oil means that inflation, the inflation that everyone's panicking about, starts looking less bad. And inflation looks less bad means that the Fed is under less pressure to put interest rates up. In fact, it means that they're more likely to cut interest rates, and interest rate cuts are good for gold. Simple. So that's what pushed price up on Wednesday. Then Friday came and it brought the American jobs report. The number came in at minus 23,000 for the non-farm payroll figures, which is basically a monthly count of how many jobs the American economy added or lost, not counting farm work because farm work is seasonal. So minus 23,000 means that they didn't add any, they lost 23,000 jobs in the US. And job creation in the US has been on a downward slide for months now. In March, America added 214,000 jobs. By June, it was down to 20,000. In July, it went backwards, minus 23,000, like I said. Now, the strange part is that the unemployment rate actually went down from 4.2% to 4.1%. So get this, jobs were lost and unemployment rate went down. I mean, that kind of sounds like good news, but it really isn't. And it only really makes sense when you understand how manipulated these figures are. But that's a whole other video though. The point to take home is that the labor market in the US is not looking too good right now. And you should care about that wherever in the world you live, because American job numbers affect American interest rates, and interest rates are what move the price of gold that's sat in your account or in your vault, hopefully, because hopefully you hold physical gold and not an ETF. Anyway, the biggest problem is that while nobody's being fired, nobody's really being hired in the US either. So it's just kind of flat. This is if you believe any of those official numbers, but either way, the market reacts like it believes them. So that's what really matters for now. And that puts the Fed into a massive corner. Inflation is running at 3.5% and their target is 2%. When inflation is too high, you raise interest rates to cool things down because more expensive borrowing means people spend less money. So on that side, they want rates higher. But when jobs are disappearing, you do the opposite. You cut rates to make borrowing cheap so businesses hire and spend. So the inflation numbers right now say that rates should rise. The labor market says that they should cut rates. If they raise, they make the labor market worse. If they cut, they make inflation worse. It's not a great spot to be in if you're the Fed. And this means a week ago, traders were pricing in roughly a 65% chance of a rate rise in September. After Friday, it's nearer to 50%. So the odds that rates are going to rise has dropped significantly, which is why gold added another 2.4% to its price on Friday. So there's your answer. This whole move is standing on a peace deal that hasn't been signed yet and 1 month of jobs numbers. Both of those can turn around on a single headline. There's another jobs report in early September, a few days before the Fed's next meeting on the 16th. If the labor market shows a bit of strength again, that rate rise is back on the table. And look, once again, I'm not saying that for sure we're going back below 4,000 on gold. That is not the point I'm making. I'm just saying that this move isn't based on anything structural changing with gold and silver. It's based on headlines for now. And those moves, those are the ones that are most susceptible to a retrace. In other words, this time looks roughly about the same as the other 26 times this has happened since 1971. By the way, I put together a free retirement guide, how to retire before 2036, 6 steps, everything I'd do if I was starting again at 40 with nothing. No hype, no nonsense. It's free to grab. There's a link below. Check it out.